Welcome to Fraud Friday. I'm Bob Coleman. We're talking loan fraud, bankers, public officials, and borrowers who got caught. PPP version today. Lance Sexton, good to see you. Delaney Sexton, our reporter extraordinaire. Delaney, you found a doozy today.
I did. I don't know for sure, but I think this is the biggest one I've seen with just borrowers not involving a PPP lender. We have a story here, $178 million PPP fraud conspiracy. In this indictment, it's only connected to 4 people, so it seems like they must have done some heavy lifting during the pandemic if this turns out to be true. Some quick details. So they're saying that at least 1,300 fraudulent PPP applications were submitted. They applied for 178. They didn't quite obtain all of that. Not that $105 million is a small number by any means. Yes, only 105 million. So we have 4 people. Eric Carnaces, Frederico Williams. These 2 would gather fraudulent business information from customers. And then we have 2 borrowers who were involved, Nakia Bennett and Lanisha Wells.
Lance, let me start with the borrowers. We've seen this over and over, and now they should have known better. They're adults, but you have these crooks who come knocking on your door and say, hey, there's free money. It's going to be forgiven. That was one of the big selling points of the PPP loan, and not selling points, one of the big benefits to help stimulate Main Street after everything got shut down. And they get caught up in this, Lance.
Well, the difficult part of it, the PPP loan program was rushed out by Congress, rushed out by SBA, and designed in a way to make it very easy and convenient for small businesses to get money. Well, it also made it very easy and convenient for fraudsters to develop these situations where they're stealing people's information and getting PPP loans, or they're stealing the information, or they're just taking the information and getting PPP loans. This is one of the biggest ones. A lot of the work of the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, Sheriff's offices, SBA, Inspector General, a lot of the work is looking at these rings. And this is definitely
a ring.
1,300 PPP loans is one of the biggest rings I've seen at this point.
Delaney, I think they probably got carpal tunnel in putting all this information.
Right. I again, there's only 4 people, but it's hard to imagine.
Tell us. Go ahead.
1 or 2 people pulled this off. You're right. That would be a lot of typing there. So far, they've all been arrested. I believe they have almost all made their first appearance in court, and they were all released on conditions pending trials or something else. Frederico, not quite. Eric decided to plead not guilty. So we will be seeing a trial for this. So part of this was that in the documentation and whatnot, a lot of these loans were submitted from the same email address. They kind of blanked part of it out, but it's e@accreditpci.com. And phone numbers ending in 3863 or 7773. So between these 4 people, a lot of their applications had the same information, including also the DocuSign completion certificates for these PPP loans were originated from an IP address. Now, in the indictment, they blanked out the name, but there's really only one option for it to be attributable to Eric Carnaces.
Allegedly.
Yes, this is all alleged.
Wow, and the email address starts with an E, so that's kind of an indicator. Again, guys, the program we've talked about this for a while, and I made a post the other day on LinkedIn talking about, PPP is never going to go away, and it's felt like that it's going to continue to be around for at least another couple years. We're going to continue hearing fraud stories for many years after that. But this is a very huge case. And in a typical world, a financial institution in the underwriting process would be able to stop this, but PPP was not a typical world. I mean, applications were being submitted online. You had people who could generate information, steal somebody's taxpayer ID number, submit a loan, and have it sent to their bank their bank
Just
account.
wired to their bank account.
But this is interesting how the digital evidence is part of the trial, and that quite often is the case in these rings. There'll be some common identifying bank account, common identifying email address, common identifying IP address. That is what gets them caught.
Yeah. And the evidence is overwhelming and good for the feds going after these people. But I want to talk about forfeiture, Lance, something near and dear to your heart as a liquidator for SBA. Again, the purpose of the PPP loan was to pay for your employees as a business owner to not lay them off. And studies have shown, and time again, that worked. Small business stepped up. They retained their employees. And the advantage of the government is that they did not have to pay 12 months of unemployment to the people that were laid off. So it did work. However, these fraudsters, Lance, they bought property in San Diego. The Bobcat. I know that you love the heavy equipment on that.
No, Bob, Delaney's messing with Delaney and Anna are messing with me today because, as you guys know, I drive a Toyota Tacoma truck. And they're showing a Toyota Tacoma with a really cool camper on top of it.
That is a cool camper. I like it.
And so the guys, these fraudsters did not buy the Tacoma, but they bought the cool camper on there. So they're messing with me here. But yeah, as is typical with fraudsters, they got some nice toys and they had to give those nice toys up.
Yeah, a Nautica boat, vacant property. I assume, again, the mindset, Delaney, blows me, is that they thought they were going to get away with this.
Oh, yeah.
What else do we have? I like the watch. The watch was a $36,500 watch. The truck camper, Lance, if you want it, you can buy one for $28,647.
Bob, I need to just find the federal auction and buy from the federal auction.
You can pick up the golf cart to tour around your property there for $21,000. And of course, we do like the Bobcats.
Yeah,
those are very useful. And that was $70,000, Lance. A very pricey piece of equipment. Anyway, Delaney, go ahead and finish up for us. What do we expect next for these individuals?
Well, at the very least, we know for the alleged ringleader, we're going to be going to trial and seeing how that works out for him. There's 23 charges between them: conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering. We'll be getting an initial appearance from Federico Williams at the end of the month, so we should be hearing some new news at the end of September or early October.
And if the government proves their case that it was $105 million they can pin on one individual, that individual is facing serious time. Thank you for joining us today for Fraud Friday, so you can stop criminals from stealing from your bank.